I
Yes.
love music. I'm a musician. Before coming here, I was touring in Germany and doing
No kidding.
was yeah, I was
Okay.
performing all the time.
Yes.
And I love cooking. I love bringing
Mm.
people together. And so I decided that I would use my skills, the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I could sing, I could cook, I could really bring people together, but then
Yes.
make it special by adding
Yes.
educational um,
Yes.
um, 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 pillar to the
Yes.
whole thing.
Yes.
So that people don't just come and just listen to good music and go back home, but they are
I
able
see.
to learn about the
Wow.
musicians who are performing, learn
Yes.
about their culture, and find commonalities. It was
Yes.
also during that time where you just had a lot of this anti immigrant rhetoric.
Mhm.
Oh, people are coming to take our job.
Story weavers, story merchants, story warriors, all the creative minds out there, draw your chairs closer and learn from a phenomenal lady, one who is a cultural ambassador. In this episode, you hear from someone who is out there and doing incredible work. In case you're wondering, but who are you? Well, my name is Gideon Fomokwai, the Story Warrior, the host of the Story Warrior podcast. Welcoming into studio, Madam, give a drum roll to Madame Mirabel Ponui Omeni. She goes by Mira Maimo. Mira, welcome into the Story Warrior channel. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I know it's around midday or just after midday. Tell us which part of the world you are in today because I know you travel a fair bit for work.
Yes, I am joining in from Grand Rapids, Michigan,
Oh,
Midwest of the
yes.
United States of America.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's one place I've not been to. I mean, I've been to Michigan, but I've not been to Grand Rapids. I need to make a reason to go to Grand Rapids very soon. But I am so delighted to have you on today because you represent, you are what I call a cultural ambassador. And you represent music, you represent food, you represent dance, and you are indeed a curator, but not just a curator, you are also an exporter of Afrocentric culture. Tell us, when did you come up with this idea? How did this idea come to the front of your mind and you said, you know what? It's a broken world. I'm going to champion this idea. I'm going to fix the world with this idea.
Absolutely, I would love to get into it. Um, it started from the moment I moved here. I lived in Germany for an extensive amount of time,
Mhm.
about 9 years, and States for my master's degree or MBA.
Mhm.
And after graduating, I thought it was going to be an easy task getting a job and getting
Mhm.
everything done. So, with my experiences, I thought I
Yeah.
would interview a couple of times and it would be easy,
Yes.
and that was not the case. But
Ah,
I am a musician.
America, America, America. Come on. Somebody who embodies three cultures: the beautiful culture of the motherland, the culture of Germany. They can fix anything, they can build anything. And they come here, they immerse and they learn. Come on, America, what's wrong with you? Anyway,
Yeah,
so the job market was a little bit unfriendly. Tell us.
it was unfriendly, and I got a lot of feedback. I tried working on my resume, tried working, getting coaching on how to interview, because the way we would do things back in Germany or the way we do things back in Cameroon doesn't necessarily mean that we can apply them here. So
Mhm.
I had to go through all of that. I did all of that and nothing worked.
Mhm.
And so while working on a new idea that I had to help business owners back home, I
Mhm.
started a company called Bervin Consulting.
Mhm.
And I really wanted to do something here because I
Mm.
felt like I had to give, I had to use my skills somehow.
Yeah, with an
Also,
MBA, with an MBA.
yeah,
Come on, America.
yes,
You somebody with an MBA. So, all right.
yeah,
So you wanted to use your skills to change your world.
Yes, I wanted to. And at that moment, we were at that stage where we were expanding our family too. So
Okay.
we were having our kids and all of that. I still really wanted to plug in.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking around, really asking the question, am I the only one facing this issue? Or are there other immigrants like myself going through all of this?
Mm-hmm.
And as I delved more into the creative space,
Mm-hmm.
the world of music,
Yes.
getting to know more musicians from an
Mm-hmm.
immigrant background, I found that this was a common occurrence. It wasn't a
Mm.
me thing, it was a general thing that people were
Wow.
suffering from. And
Wow.
so during that whole period, I had to dig in. I asked myself, like, what can I create? What can I do?
Mm.
What, because I found a problem, and that
Mm-hmm.
problem was the
Yes.
fact that people underestimate immigrants coming in.
Yes.
A lot of the feedback I had in the interviews were like, "Are you really sure you had these experiences?
Oh
How
my
can someone
God.
so young have?" I'm like, "Go check my
Resume.
references.
Yeah. Check.
That's why they're there. Call
Yeah.
them and
Yeah.
check them."
Check the references.
And it just told me that there was something really lacking. There was we come in already as losers. You have to
Mhm.
prove yourself almost
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
you have to prove that you're valuable to be considered.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is unfair, but that
Yeah.
was just
The
the truth.
reality.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
I asked myself, what can I do? What are the skills that I have? What are my
Hmm.
strengths? I
Yes.
love music. I'm a musician. Before coming here, I was touring in Germany and doing
No
was
kidding.
yeah, I was
No kidding.
performing all the time.
Yes.
And I love cooking. I love bringing
Mm.
people together. And so I decided that I would use my skills, the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I could sing, I could cook, I could really bring people together, but
Yes.
then make it special, educational, um,
Yes.
um, 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 pillar to the
Yes.
whole thing.
Yes.
So that people don't just come and just listen to good music and go back home, but they are
I
able
see.
to learn about the
Wow.
musicians who are performing, learn
Yes.
about their culture, and find commonalities. It was
Yes.
also during that time where you just had a lot of this anti immigrant rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
Or people are coming to take our jobs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What we have going on now.
Oh my God.
They're
Oh
eating
my
the
God.
dogs, they're eating the cats
Oh
and
my.
stuff like that. All of
Yes.
those things. Um, I really wanted to build a space where
Yes.
people could come,
Yes.
destroy the stereotypes that they have of each other,
Mm.
find commonalities by learning about their cultures, and
Yes.
um, just building a community that is good and thriving for everyone. So that
Yes.
was the idea. And I
Yes.
started this whole thing in my basement. got
Amazing.
got some
Amazing.
artists together and we would
Yes.
jam. Soon enough, the basement had no
No
space for
space.
the people who were coming in.
There you
And so
go.
I took it out. And after 4 months, it was full.
Wow.
We would be showcasing artists from all over the continent of Africa.
Mm.
And I really wanted to take my time with the food aspect of it because
Yes.
I really wanted it to be an experience like
Yes.
none other.
Yeah.
And so it took some time before we got to really host the food experiences. But when we started, oh my God, it just blew up because people
Wow.
never seen anything like that. We would be
Hmm.
teaching people how to cook dishes from different African countries and not
Wow.
just talking about the dishes, but we talk about the country. We talk about
Yes. Yes.
people. This is what we love. This is what we gravitate to. And we ask
Wow.
questions. The guests would
Wow.
also explain like how did you grow up? What did your grandfather,
Hmm.
grandmother used to do? And
Mm.
we would find that people would be shocked at the similarities that they would have
Yes.
with people
Yes.
from the continent.
Yes.
You would have someone from Russia and they're like, oh my God, this is exactly how we grew up. I cannot believe that this like we have way more in common than we think.
Oh, yeah,
When
absolutely.
you bring it down to that level where people are actually having fun,
Wow.
they don't even think they are learning, but they are
Mhm.
learning while having fun. And what it does
Exactly.
is it creates positive
Yes.
memories in their minds about
Yep.
them immersing themselves in another culture that they probably would never have touched or
Mm.
they never dated. And you find people becoming friends from just one experience.
There you go. There you
And
go.
after that, I was like, we have to make this bigger. That was me testing
Hmm.
our services and products. But
Hmm.
my goal was to take it to the corporate level, to make sure that
Yes.
we are serving businesses at the
Yep.
corporate level.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
When you change minds there, when you open people's minds there,
Yep.
you are helping build and increase their
Yep.
emotional IQ,
Workforce and everything.
team
Yeah.
building, all of
Yes.
that. And so we things were going really, really well, like amazingly well. And
Mm-hmm.
then the pandemic hit.
Pandemic crashed. Ah, that son of a reptile pandemic. It ruined so much. I would
Yes,
probably have come to Michigan, but I've not come to Michigan because pandemic.
yeah,
I was a road warrior. I was going from city to city conducting leadership workshops
that's amazing.
everywhere around the East Coast. But I'm sure it was just a matter of time before I came to Michigan because I was already coming so close, all the neighboring states. I was in neighboring states, and I thought, okay, maybe one day, but then it messed up everything. That's
Yeah,
fascinating. But you see, what I'm learning from there is this is a problem. Most people see a problem, they call it problem,
mm,
problem, problem, problem. Who are you? Why are you here? Why are you here? But you said, you know what, problem? I have no problem with you. I'm
yeah,
going to find a way to get across. I'm going to
yes.
find a way to get over. And you made a business out of literally nothing. But for the fact that there was an issue, most people turn a blind eye and complain about it and curse the darkness. But you say, the darkness, I'm going to light a match. I'm going to light a match. And you did that, and boom, you had good business. So we'll talk about the pandemic era and how you've survived it until now. But as a curator, as someone who is a communicator of Afrocentric culture, what is the juiciest part? What do people care most about? Is it the food? Because our food, I believe, is pretty nice. Is it the music? Because I know our music too is very, 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 very nice and very engaging. Or is it just the storytelling or some
Oh
other
my
aspects?
God. I I would say it's a combination of all three.
Mm,
Um, Before starting this business, I would separate music from food. While
mm,
hosting people, friends, uh, business colleagues, and
mhm,
it was always separate in my mind. People would appreciate the
mm,
food, and of course, while
mhm,
you're having the food, you probably have some music playing in the background.
mhm,
Um, it was separate. But when I thought about this, just combining everything together, the
mhm,
storytelling piece, you can tell a story, but
mhm.
it's gonna be a little more intense, a little more lasting in someone's memory if there's some music in the background.
Yes, if you add emotional music to it,
Yes.
absolutely.
So I think when you are tickling all the senses, your
Mm,
sense of smell,
yes,
taste,
yeah,
the oratory, you're
yes,
listening to
yeah.
something, it's just
Mhm.
magical. It's
Wow, wow.
and when I brought all of this together, and then when you have it, it's diverse, and then you
Mhm,
have that other educational portion of it,
mhm.
where it's just like you find people say, "Oh, I never knew that. I have never actually thought of that. Like this is so simple, but I never." It's like simple things connecting them together
Yes,
across cultures, but it's
yes,
not just across cultures because it's among people, and that's the most
yes,
important thing. We are human
absolutely.
beings. We love socializing. Socializing is part of who we are. We cannot
Yes,
we cannot
yes,
exist without that. And
absolutely.
when you create a space that creates positive vibes in the mind, in the heart,
Yep.
and then
Magic happens.
magic happens. Magic. So I would say it's a combination of all three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So I've dabbled into creating. I've been a creator for a while. And I'm sure there are people watching this that are creators. But the first lesson I'm learning from here, from you, is if there is a problem, don't just talk about it.
Yeah.
Find a way to solve it. And if you can embed that, if you can infuse that into your creative processes, into your thought processes, and create a solution out of it, or a service out of it, you're onto something. Because a while back, I was at graduate school in Nevada, and I thought part time at high school, but I also had weekends. And I thought, what do I do with my weekends? I designed African storytelling programs,
Oh,
and I moderated them, or I went to public libraries and I started disseminating, started sharing with them, actually
mhm.
performing out the stories.
Yeah.
And out of that, I started to have a lot of friends, a lot of fans. I even ran into a lady whose daughter had been a Peace Corps volunteer in Cameroon, and she was asking me, please, where can I have some Jama Jama? I want to eat
Oh,
some Jama Jama. This is like from 20 years back. She was begging me on her knees, where can I have some
yes.
Jama Jama? So I
Oh,
linked her with Pam, my wife. I was traveling to do a gig in DC. I said, okay, there's going to be a Cameroonian night.
yeah.
I get you guys connected. Go eat as much Jama Jama as you can. But I say that to concur the fact that if you are able to create and get out there, you
Yeah.
never know whom you're going to meet. You
Absolutely.
can never tell whom God is going to put your way. So, who are some of the people that you've been lucky or fortunate to work with or to serve in the last? Maybe they're corporate, maybe they're individuals, or maybe just big fans of your work in that area or out all around America.
Yeah, we have been blessed to work with Kelly Clarkson. We were on her show.
No kidding. No
Yeah,
kidding.
and it was
Your assistant didn't send me that video. Why did
then
she not send me that?
we need to correct that.
Please, she needs to
Correct
send
that.
that to me because that's a
Yes.
high point. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not every Cameroonian, not every African that I know has been on Kelly Clarkson's show. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, and not everyone has been on the Story Warrior podcast too. Okay, okay, I'm joking. I'm being silly here right now. Okay, but Kelly Clarkson, I definitely want to check that out. So that's a
Yes.
big one. So
Hmm.
which are some other ones? Please drop some names because it's gonna
Um,
invite and inspire other creators to believe in their work. If
yes.
you do not create, you will not go that far. I've not been there. She
Yeah.
doesn't invite everybody.
Hmm.
So drop some names because that's very inspiring.
Yeah. In my work in community building and organizing, and on on the crossroads of culture, I have gotten to meet a couple of people, political
Mhm.
authorities here
Mm,
in Michigan,
mm.
the governor. Um,
Wow, look at that.
um, yeah, I also sit on a board on the equity board
Okay.
commission. So
I am going to, that's a Vuvuzela moment for me. That's a Vuvuzela moment. Sitting on the board, meeting with governors, Kelly Clarkson show. Okay, go ahead. That's good work. The Vuvuzela only comes out to preach. It doesn't come out for no reason, you know.
yeah, so I've
Wow.
also met a couple of people in music,
Wow.
collaborated with some,
Wow.
it's all the way back from Cameroon to here.
Mhm.
um there's one person that I really want to give a shout out to, and
Please, please.
his name is Mark,
Mhm.
and he runs a tourism business.
Okay.
He would take people. He organizes
Mhm.
trips,
Mhm.
takes people all across the world.
Mhm.
And when I was moving around, pitching
Mhm.
my ideas to everyone around,
Mhm.
those early days when you just
Yes.
start the business.
When they're doubting you, yes.
Yes, you're going everywhere. I had a meeting with him, and that was the first conversation where I pitched for almost like 2 minutes.
Mhm.
And he looked at me and he said, I want in.
Mm. It's an American.
He's an American. He's an
Amazing.
amazing person.
Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing person.
Yes.
He and his partner, Dana,
Mm.
they were like, we've we have always been looking for something like this.
Like this. There you go.
And we didn't even know what that would entail, but you just describing it right
Mhm.
now,
Wow.
this is exactly what
That's
is
such a
missing.
blessing. Such a
Yes,
blessing.
this is
Yes.
what is missing from
Mm-hmm.
our services.
Mm-hmm.
And they facilitated my very first cooking experience. They
Mm-hmm.
had this amazing condo high rise in
Mm-hmm.
the middle of the city, like
Mm-hmm.
views as spectacular. And for me, I was just like, okay, this is not my level.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Well, some
but I was
humility.
so excited.
Yeah.
Like how can this happen? So it's
Yes.
those destiny helpers. I call them destiny helpers,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and we know that God is behind those kind
Yes.
of
Pushing
encounters.
you, is nudging you. And I
Yes,
think this is by far, if you had become a corporate slave somewhere or
Oh
corporate
yes.
employee where you're be sitting in a tiny little cubicle and typing every
Oh
single day and
yes.
looking at the screen and doing all kinds of things and then looking at
Absolutely.
somebody watching over my shoulder. This is bigger. Now, it
Absolutely.
takes a little bit of effort to build this,
Yeah.
but once you build it, it grows bigger. Look at how much exposure you've had sitting on the board, meeting with governors.
Yeah.
An average person that comes from the motherland that works here has never met even with a governor's clerk.
Mm,
Okay, has probably never even been into the governor's office, but there
mhm.
you are. You're creating contacts at the intersection of politics, business, and family, and you
Yeah.
can change. You can use that to change your world. But let me ask you this: having lived in Singapore for a long time,
Mhm.
I know where it's easier to live. What's your experience? Where is it easier to get business going? Is it in Germany? Is it in Cameroon or in America? For me, it's by far, far, far. It's in Singapore. By far, huge margin. But what's
Mhm.
your experience?
I think it's easier here in America.
Oh, I'm
Here.
good. It's good to hear that. It's good to
Yes.
hear that because now it makes it a reality check for me. So it's
Yeah.
easier to get your business going in US than in the other two. And
Def-
how easy is that for you? Are you able to knock on doors, get big ticket items? Are you able to, say, I this is my calling card. I'm asking for this much. They open the door, say, hi, madam, please. Is that what you're saying?
what I've learned is that there is no business, there is no culture without
Mhm,
advocacy. And advocacy, by advocacy I mean policy changes. So there's there's a fine line that you have to walk, um to get your stuff known, to get your business known. You
mhm.
have to be able to speak for yourself.
Yes.
That is
Okay.
part of advocacy. You have to
Yes.
be able to work with your chamber of commerce. You
Okay.
have to be able to network with your local
Mhm,
businesses as well.
mhm, mhm.
But also you have to think about doing business with the government.
Absolutely. Why not?
So it's all part of it's a package.
Mm. Mhm.
And while I was in Germany, I mostly focused on my education and my music.
I'm touring. Okay.
Oh, sorry. So
Mhm,
um, that whole it was exciting, it was fun, it was lovely, but
mhm,
also I was limited because I had to make sure I studied
mhm,
for my because I was studying for my
mhm.
I did my bachelor's and master's there before
Okay.
doing an MBA here in the US.
Okay.
I had limited time, so my exposure to business was
Mhm.
kind of limited by that.
Wow.
So that's why
Okay.
I fall back to the United States.
Mhm.
Here,
And
I
fair enough.
really I started from
Mhm.
the ground. I
From
started
scratch.
from nothing. I
Scratch. Yeah.
started this business with $200,
Wow.
and so it is.
Look at that. And today you have assistants, you have collaborators, you have all these people working for you.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what I've learned is here you have programs that I didn't necessarily see in Germany, like
Yes.
entrepreneurial programs that help entrepreneurs start up. They
Mhm.
help you understand
The landscape.
how to run the business.
Mhm.
And they open doors for you at the
Mhm.
beginning. So
Mhm.
there's so much more resources. There are so much more resources here in the US. There's so many more people willing to help as well.
Yes. Okay.
Um, Everything is clear, your taxes and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
Cameroon is a little
Oh, okay, okay. Now let's not go that one for
yeah.
now. It's a different minefield, but
Yes.
I'm delighted to know that this is a positive experience and the business is growing. As it's grown, how many staff do you have now actively, or maybe full time, or collaborators or associates that you go out and deliver programs with?
Um we have a crew of about 21,
Wow, wow.
um
Full time, part time.
part-time, and
Okay,
I do that deliberately because I work specifically with creatives
okay,
from all over, and
mhm,
for them, some of them have other jobs which I love,
okay,
but also I work with stay-at-home moms a lot.
okay,
And
okay.
for
Fair
me,
enough.
it's very important that that's a demographic that I call the forgotten demographic,
Yep, yep.
especially of
That can be
women.
easily forgotten, that's
Yes,
for sure. Mhm.
Immigrant women who come here and maybe they're starting their families.
Yeah.
Some of them probably don't have the documentation to work.
Mhm.
Not yet. Maybe
Mhm.
they are wives of H-1B holders,
Mhm.
and the only way to survive or to earn anything would be to start their businesses. So a lot of
Mhm.
the times I would work with them, train
Mhm.
them, give them equipment to do
Mhm.
work from home.
I
um
see. Wow.
yes, and so we have a lot of our services have morphed into virtual and in person because of
Mm.
that
Okay.
helped us through the pandemic. Uh,
Mhm.
but it's also just a permanent way to take care of the women who are stuck at
Yes.
home. Because a lot of the times when they are at home, it all depends on how much their partners are earning. If they are earning
Mhm.
a lot,
Mhm.
then maybe
Yeah.
they have money for childcare, then they can step out. But a
Yes.
lot of the times, what we see is that they don't earn enough to send the kids out
Mm.
for childcare, and so
Yes.
these women are just stuck at home. They can't
Yes.
network, they can't do it. It's a
It's
very low
painful.
place here.
Very painful. I think
Yes, for
you're kind of
people,
like almost cut off from
yeah, you are
society.
cut off from
Yeah.
society. And
Yes.
given that we come from places where community is
Oh
everything,
my God. Community is the order of the
yes,
day. Yes.
yes, yes. I wanted
Mm.
to make sure that I was empowering women at home
Mm.
to
Wow.
earn some income,
Mm.
take care of themselves,
Mm.
pay for childcare if they want to go out.
Yes.
Because a lot of the things that we do, some of them require them to go out of the house. So we will take care of the childcare for
Mm.
them, and then have them go out. If it's networking, we
Mhm.
have them meet other people,
Yeah.
expand their own businesses. So I teach them what I do
Okay. So they
as
can
well,
do it
so
for
that they can
themselves.
do it. Yes.
Okay. Wow. So take us through an average day uh, within MCC, Motherland Cultural Connections. An average day, how do you run it in terms of from morning till say late afternoon or evening?
Absolutely. We normally have a mixture of services. Sometimes it's speaking engagements because a
Mhm.
lot of what we do is part of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes.
So I do a lot of trainings
Mhm.
spanning that whole pillar.
Okay.
Um, a lot of the times it will be a mixture of those experiences. It would be a mixture of meeting with clients, um,
Mhm.
planning experiences for the future, and then
Mhm.
fulfilling experiences too.
Mhm.
Sometimes I get to jump in. When it started, I used to do everything, but then
Mhm.
I trained more people so that I wouldn't be doing everything.
Exactly. Of course, that's what it takes. You don't want to grow alone.
Yes,
You want to teach more people not only to eat fish, but how to fish, so that
yes,
if you're
yes.
down tomorrow, they can at least fish for you. So that's
Absolutely.
very, very important.
Absolutely. So for me now, my days are more about meeting people, trying to close deals,
Yes.
handling some of those trainings. And
Yeah.
if someone is sick, because that
Mhm.
happens very often, or there's some family emergency, especially on the side of the women,
Mhm.
I can
Mhm.
step in and cover up for them.
Wow.
Um, but I also have another job as a community organizer, and
Mhm.
a lot of the times I would be there representing
Mhm.
the African community here.
Okay.
I work as an executive director for the African Collaborative Network. So
Mhm.
sometimes it's advocacy with the city, with different
Yep. Yep.
organizations at the
Yep.
state level as well. So my day is a combination of all of these things.
I can I can tell your plate is full. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Take us to MCC uh, kitchen. Let's
Yes.
say you are fulfilling an experience. You want people to have a taste of how to make. I'm just gonna throw out a name there. Uh, some fufu corn,
Mm-hmm.
some what's the one? The kati chicken. Uh, hey, these are all very tasty meals
Yeah.
that I think most Americans have not fully discovered African cuisine
Mm-hmm.
yet. They have not
Mm-hmm.
discovered. Only Ethiopians have succeeded to take their cuisine into the public space.
Yes. Yes.
Most of the West Africans, Central Africans, East Africans, Southern Africans, and to a large extent North Africans have not taken their cuisine into the public space. Now in New York, maybe you see some Senegalese restaurants. But tell me, if somebody comes into the MCC kitchen on a day when you're cooking, I'm already a little I'm already hungry. What would they experience? My mouth is watery already.
Well, we have our motherline gear to prep everyone for the kitchen, and
Mhm,
the way we do it, we either have like private classes where it's a few people or maybe just one person,
mhm.
but we normally have larger groups, and so
Okay.
it's practically how we cook back home. We
Like how
all
many?
at least
Like how many people? If it's a large
sometimes.
group.
Oh yeah, sometimes we have about 25 people, 30 people.
Wow. So you
Yes.
must have a huge space, kitchen or sitting space to accommodate 25.
Yes, normally
Okay.
we partner with a couple of kitchens around the city
I see.
and the outskirts. So we go from one neighborhood to another one
Fair
because the
enough.
goal too is to make sure that we are giving the opportunity for other people for the community to participate. So it's not just one spot. But yeah,
Mm,
you would take that. By the time people come in, they already know what we're cooking.
okay.
We already have the ingredients ready,
For
and
example, what are we cooking today?
we're cooking my favorite nyoseji,
Okay.
kiban and kati kati.
Oh,
That's
all right.
fufu and
That's it.
huckleberry and
Okay.
kati
Fan-
kati. Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic. Man, I have tested some of that. I know how good it is.
Oh,
Except for the kati kati, I've never eaten it.
oh,
I've
really?
eaten everything else. Yes. When I visited
Oh,
Bangor, nobody gave me that. For
oh
whatever
my
reason,
God.
I ate it. Ate it. Fufu, I ate the jama jama, but nobody gave me that. I only heard about it here, and everybody was
I
like
am
jumping.
mad. I
Everybody was
am
jumping. I'm
mad.
like, I've never heard about that. I never heard
No,
about it at
we
home.
need
But
to fix that. We need
yeah,
to fix it
we need to fix it. Maybe.
ASAP.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. And my wife went to school at St. Augustine. She enjoys it, so I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it. But so that's on the table. Everybody's participating in making a jama jama. Is that true?
Everybody.
Everybody's
Yes.
participating in doing the mise en place. How about stirring the fufu? How
Oh
about
yeah,
stirring
we
that?
normally have we normally ask for the bravest people. Normally you
Mm,
have the foodies in there who actually
jump
love
in.
cooking. They are the ones who are normally super excited to do that. So
There
they
you
come
go.
in and they would stare. But we have people in different groups
Hmm.
for different parts of the meal. So some people will be taking care of fufu, some people will be
Hmm.
taking care of the njama
Wow.
njama washing,
Yes.
some people
Yes.
will be chopping all of
Yes.
the tomatoes and the onions, all the things
Hmm.
that go in there. And with
Hmm.
the chicken, some people are doing the grilling, of course,
Mm,
instructions. And
yes.
I
Yes.
love that. I like to do it that way. We could, of course, have just one person at the table with their own separate
No,
ingredient,
no, that's okay. But do you have like a
but it's not
cookbook?
fun.
Do you have like cookbook instructions for them to follow?
Yes, but it
Okay.
is not as fun. We
Yeah.
like the whole family feel because
Which is
for
basically what back home, that's what they do.
exactly that's what we do.
And here's something I want to make a quick observation. All right.
Mm.
Maybe I'm wrong. I've never seen an African mother in Africa pick up a cookbook when cooking. Never, ever.
No,
It's almost like a Western thing. But
no,
hey, I just want to put it out there.
no, we
They
don't.
know it to their fingertips,
We
and they
don't.
pass it on to their daughters,
Yeah,
and in my case, to their sons, because
yeah.
I was raised by a widow, so she taught me to cook.
Oh,
But I never first you could not read a cookbook, but who cares about a cookbook? What's that? It's like a Russian language.
yes,
They know how to cook it and they know how to make it work.
yes,
So do you want to comment on that? Because that's a cultural nuance. It's
absolutely.
a cultural nuance that people don't talk about. Nobody talks about it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A lot of people are blown away when I tell them about how we learn how to cook. Because a lot of the
Yes.
times you would be doing things and then a lot of the times you have the participants saying, "Oh, what temperature? I have to
Exactly.
have the temperature."
And
And
so
I'm
people are
like,
standing there panicking over the food inside.
I'm like,
They're like freaking out. Like, what is that? Just cook. So
trust the process. You have to trust yourself while
confidence
and trusting yourself it will take a couple of times for you to actually
to
get
fix
to
it,
know that.
to
And I'm
get
saying
it. Yeah.
we start cooking girls start cooking really early. For me, I
Okay.
started go my mom would take me into the kitchen when I was like 2 3, and I would
Yes.
start with grinding spices. That was
Yes.
my job. And then I would learn
Did
which
you grind with
spices.
this grinder
Yes, we would do.
or with this one?
I did both. I did both.
Oh,
And
I
even
salute
did the
you.
and
I
even did
salute.
the mortar and pestle.
I salute you. Okay, I
So
give you if for anybody who can do the stone, that is um okay, that is amazing because I thought I'm the only one that's old school here because I did
no,
this many, many
no,
times. And for
this
those
will
who
work.
don't know, let me just do a little quick insert here. There used to be a method of grinding spices in Africa in which you have an old fine stone with a little one that you use to grind, or you can use a mortar and a pestle. But
Mhm.
what you're saying is that you have experience of using both. And then later on, the hand driven machines came
Yeah.
in, and now blenders are all over the place. If you have a kid, even in Africa now, they tell them that they used to do that. I don't think they even know what that is.
Oh, I have my mortar and pestle right here, and I use that in
Yes,
my experiences because there's
time on
just
sense.
there is
Yes, it is. It
something
is
very
good. It is
special
powerful. It is
about it.
powerful.
Yes, and it
Yes.
also depends on the texture that you want to get from the spices that you're
Oh,
grinding.
there you go.
So if you want everything like really smooth, then maybe you go and do the blender. But depending on what you're cooking,
Mm,
some of the
mm.
mixtures of your
And
spices,
Jansa, you don't want to go
yes,
too.
you
Okay.
want it rougher, then you probably need
Wow.
to use
You can feel
your
it.
you can feel it exactly. So I use all of those traditional methods in my cooking class. That is exactly what we are talking about, authentic African
Yes.
cooking.
And the people standing around, what are the comments that they're saying as they
Oh,
see you making magic like that?
it is
Because
like,
this is totally, it doesn't happen anymore in the Western world, and it's not a collective effort. Here, it's like
yes,
one person cooks, everybody eats, but
hmm,
back home, it's an egalitarian thing. So, what are
yes.
the comments that they're saying to you or saying to each other while they're watching? I want take
Oh,
us to the scene.
yes, it's usually some of them would ask like, how do you do it? A lot of the times they would come and take turns
Hmm. Hmm.
trying to grind with the flat
Hmm.
stone, trying to
Hmm.
pound. But
Hmm.
also it's like they start once you start grinding, you start getting those fragrant
Hmm.
substance
Oh,
from the spices.
yes.
And one of them that always blows their mind is country onions. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like, yeah, I
Take it
know.
in. Take it in. Take it in.
It smells so good.
Take it
It's
in.
so good. And
There you
like
go.
this is the part of the cooking that is
Yes,
fun. And if you're in a
absolutely.
hurry all the time, you miss out on these moments. You
Absolutely.
miss out. This is life. This is
Yeah.
why we're here.
It's
We cannot
magic.
keep on rushing through
Mm.
everything. Take your
Mm.
time, grind, take in the smells, the beautiful smells,
Mhm.
check the texture.
Mhm.
Um, is these things that are gonna help you when you want to recreate the dish later on because you have
Mm.
points
You
that
have
you
kinesthetic, you have kinesthetic
yes,
memory attached to
yes,
the whole process.
yes, like I felt it. It was this
Mm.
tender. It wasn't
Yes.
this hard. So maybe
Yes.
I should grind a little more. Those are the fine things. And when it comes to
The
the
onion, you give the onion to the one that talk the most, or the one that you slice the onion.
you always have the people the cooks at home who are
Yeah.
like, I'm not intimidated by no onions. So
Yeah.
they go in and they like chop
They
chop
go and
chop
then
chop
the
chop.
eyes start
Yeah.
to
So
water, like the onion.
mhm. And then you
Okay.
have some people who just hang and they just keep on asking questions. They are watching
Mm.
and they're asking questions. So
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
usually a mixture of people who want to do the work, who want to be involved in the
Yes.
whole process. It's
Yeah.
people, sometimes people just hang and they have their drink and
Yeah.
they're looking in and they're
Yeah.
asking questions.
Wow.
And at the end of it all, it's one, it's like I've never really experienced this. Like
Yeah.
food for us, a lot of the things that I hear is that cooking for us was a rushed process.
Yes.
Cooking for us was pre-made stuff.
Yes.
Cooking for us was boiling only.
Yeah.
How did you
Wow.
develop this flavor profile to this kind of level? But also
Mm.
understanding the stages in Cameroonian cooking or African cooking generally,
Mhm.
we like to build the flavors. We
Yes.
build and build and build. And like you
Yes.
cannot be rushing. That's why our dishes take 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours to cook
Cook.
sometimes
Absolutely true.
because you have to build those layers, and
Absolutely true.
it's part of that. And then that's when we start talking about, okay, now that you're in the kitchen for all this time, what are you doing during this time?
Mm.
And I'm like,
Mm.
cooking for us is like a religious thing.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual moment because that's
Yes.
also when a lot of information is passed from
Half down.
generation to
Maybe
generation.
storytelling. Do you do storytelling?
We do storytelling during that
Wow.
time. We
Wow.
we will talk about depending on where the dish is coming from. If it's
Mhm.
coming from Senegal, they will learn about
Yes.
Senegal. They will learn about
Okay.
the history. They'll learn about
Wow.
the specific part of Senegal that that dish comes from. They'll learn about the
Mm.
people, how they differ from other Senegalese, but also
Mhm.
what they would love, what they would
Mm.
gravitate towards. And then we will ask everybody to like, does any of this sound familiar to you?
Familiar to you?
There's
Yes.
that deep conversation now that
Yep.
goes down
Yep.
to my
Yep.
personal. I abstract now from what I've learned and I go
Yes.
deep down inside me
Mhm.
to understand my own culture. And a lot of the time,
Mm.
what we see here is people say, "Oh, yeah, we don't have any culture." Like everybody has culture.
Of course, everybody has culture. Culture is
Everybody.
a way of life. It's
Yes.
not like
It's like, oh, we don't have the fancy dresses and all of those things, and we always correct, like, it's not a costume, it's a dress, it's an
yeah,
attire. Don't
yeah.
call it
That's
a
it.
costume. A
Yeah.
costume is something.
You only wear for a particular maybe
Yes, yes,
showcase
this
or something.
this is my traditional attire.
Mhm.
So it's different, but it's like you have all these fancy things, we don't have anything. I'm like, no, no, no. When we break it down, how how did your mom cook, if your mom cooked at all? Was it your dad? What was the process? Um, I know everybody else writes recipes. We don't do that because
Yep.
we have all these things by memory. We start cooking
You
really
observe
early.
it. You do it.
Yes. All of
It like by the time you're 20, 21, 22 getting married, you have
you mastered.
all your recipes within you.
Yes.
Barely, only a few times when I saw my sisters doing like Western meals, like
Mm-hmm.
some very big stuff, like baking stuff. That's when they
Mm-hmm.
pick up a cookbook. But
Yes.
otherwise, they got this thing figured out
Yeah.
very well. They go
Yeah.
even when they went for what they call domestic science, they still came back, didn't carry cookbooks all around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's say they finish the meal, they share the meal, and off they're going. What are some of the things that they're saying? And it's the reason I say that is because I talked to another lady who does. She also has a name, an interesting name, Motherland Kitchen, out of Maryland, and
Mm-hmm.
she says they are crazy for vegan African vegan food,
Yeah.
and she's the one that used the word "fufu is trending."
Mm.
Because they create the people go 2 3 hours just to come to our place.
Yeah.
What are the things that they say when they're leaving, and do they inform their friends? Do they
Oh yeah.
ask you to go to other schools, other companies, and do the same work?
Yes, 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 yes. 60% of our business is referral.
Wow, that is something.
So people come in
That is
and
something.
we retain a lot of our customers, and then they recommend us to other people. It's like word
Wow.
this this secret word to mouth kind of thing.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but we have on when you go online,
Mm-hmm.
we have five-star review.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have
Oh
it.
my
We
God.
are complete five-star reviewed, all
No
of it,
kidding. No
because
kidding.
it's such a it's Cameroonian hospitality. It's
Yes.
my hospitality. It's how I
Yes.
grew up. It's how
Yes.
I saw my mom hosting and handling
Yes.
everybody
People.
who walked through the door, and that
Yes.
is how I look at it. So
There you go.
we make sure from beginning to end
And they're
that
having a
you
unique
feel,
experience.
yes, you feel like you are family.
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
not just just cook, eat, and
Hmm.
go. No, it
No,
is
it's
a lot of the times I experience people come
yeah.
and then they want to overstay and we
Yeah.
have to literally
Okay, we
like
gotta go
go out,
because
yes,
yeah.
because we have the
But
next one coming up.
that also is it's a testament of the fact that you've given them a very good time. And it's also the reason why they give you referrals because they feel comfortable, they feel that you've appreciated them very much. Now, when we go beyond food, you also do music.
Yeah.
And how do you integrate music and food in your programs while still making them educational, while still helping people to learn something about the culture? That
Mhm.
is, you're the only person I know that is able to infuse or combine all those elements. Most people just go do music. I just go do storytelling. I don't do no food. And I'm like, okay, now this is opening up my mind. So tell us about that process. How do you combine all those three?
We normally have like time in between,
Mhm.
like when we've all prepped everything and
Mm.
everything is cooking,
Oh,
people will
okay.
down when it's time before they start getting, because our expenses are three-course meals,
Mm,
first, second, third. Um,
mhm,
depending on the time that is allowed, we go for
mhm.
smaller, shorter dishes to make so that it fits within
Fantastic.
that time. But
Fantastic.
when people sit down, that is the time for
Okay. So
music
music. Okay.
and the storytelling. So you would have,
Wow.
I believe my music is all about storytelling too. Um,
Mm,
I write from my experiences. I'm a very introspective kind of,
mhm.
my approach to music is more
Okay.
introspective. So
Okay.
I would tell stories for people to understand what that song, they have to
Mm,
understand what inspired the song. So I would
yes.
tell the story from then and
Behind the song. Yeah,
get
okay.
into the song.
Wow.
And that
Wow.
brings people in as much as possible. They're part of it. It's
Mhm.
the same process that all our musicians use.
Mm,
And we always make sure that we're pairing the musician with the dish and the region. So
mm.
it is a deep dive into a region,
So if let's say
storytelling.
if you're doing Senegalese food,
Mhm.
say the musician on that day will be a Senegalese. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Wow,
Try as much as
kudos,
possible
kudos. That is
to make
amazing.
that.
So you absolutely do a lot of homework. So
Oh, there's a lot of research.
if it's a chew, have you done a chew before?
We've not done achu. We've
It's
not done achu.
very evolved process.
It
Because I was
is.
going to
It
ask you,
is.
so are you going to bring Injang dance? Are you going to bring what kind of dance? You're going to bring Bangalore dance. So which are some of the ones that you featured more often, or that people ask for very frequently, and you
People.
have the music to complement?
Mhm. People love yassa. Yassa is one of the dishes from Senegambia.
Mm,
Um, it's either yassa chicken. Sometimes they want the vegetarian, and if we're
mm,
doing it virtually, a lot of
mm.
the times, depending on, we have groups. Sometimes there are like 400 of them virtually cooking at the same time in their kitchen
What?
when
No
it's
kidding.
virtual. Yes,
No kidding. So you'll be hosting that at home or in your business kitchen?
I host that from home. Usually, that's easier to
Wow.
host from home. It's like it's
400.
it's better.
So you must have a huge database of people that are already signed up or they're part of this movement now.
Yeah,
400.
we work with organizations
Yes.
primarily. So we work with them. They sign up their
That is
employees,
interesting. That is
and
so
we
interesting.
and we cook online. Everybody. So before then, people already have their list of
Wow.
ingredients.
Wow.
Sometimes the organizations actually don't want the people to go buy, so they ask us to send them meal prep kits, and so we would have
Mm,
all the ingredients,
no kidding.
ship them over, and
Yes.
they just, on the day of the class, they just open it, or the experience, they just
Yes.
open it, put their things. Some of them are already prepared, so chopped and all of that, so just line them up and we sell
So
it.
that opens up another business opportunity. So now do you pre-pack or do you have to buy them and then combine them? Because the lady from Maryland, whom I have to make a point to introduce you and her so you get to know each other, uh, she already has her own spices.
Mhm.
So tell me, are you pre-packing? You have a back office now that you also ship that from, or you how do you do that?
Yes, we do. We have a
No
back
kidding.
office. We put everything
Wow,
together and
wow,
we ship
wow.
it out.
This is a full factory business. It's more. This is like, okay, that's amazing. Now tell me, madam, if let's say I have a group of uh, business leaders that want to have an experience, let's say Christmas experience,
Mhm.
I bring them to you. Maybe some uh, of African heritage, maybe uh, approximately how much will you charge them if they're going to be doing it virtually?
Mhm.
And the reason I say that is because I do some leadership workshops
Yeah.
that I may send you some clients who
Mhm.
want to have an African experience.
Mhm.
Who knows? Or is that you want to talk about that off stage, or you can
No,
share? Okay,
no.
okay, okay.
No, it all depends on what they want. Is it
Yeah.
just the one dish? Because some people just want one entree,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they are cooking virtually.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they want to cook for 2 hours. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like 3 full hours. So
Mm-hmm.
it ranges from one dish all the way to a three-course meal online.
Okay.
And the prices will start from 65 all the way to 5, and then
Okay.
depending on how many courses, it
Mm-hmm.
also the prices of the meal prep kits also fluctuate
Okay.
accordingly.
So
Yeah.
you ship out their meal prep kits,
Yes.
and does that price include the meal prep, or that's just for your time to spend with them virtually?
No, it would include all of the ingredients and the
Okay.
shipping in there. And
Okay.
we customize every experience. So if you say you
Mm-hmm.
come in and you have 200 people and
Mm-hmm.
you want to cook for just an hour, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll sit down with you and then
Mm-hmm.
plan, these
Mm-hmm.
are the meals that we can cook within that hour and still have a
Mm-hmm.
great experience and still have that educational touch point and
Wow.
still have the music and have excess time for me for questions.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
we would curate that specific package for you and your budget.
Okay, okay. Wow, that is so cool. I met a lady who does what you call drum chick productions.
Mm.
She's an American lady, white lady, who
Yeah.
went to Gambia and learned drumming.
Hmm.
She's very good. I think she got certified as a master drummer. So
That's
she
love.
comes to Nevada
Yeah.
and she's teaching drumming
Hmm.
as a tool for team building.
Yeah.
She has dozens and dozens of drums. She takes them into a company and teaches you what the master drummers taught her, how to play the djembe and so on.
Hmm.
And I saw her program. It was so, so interesting.
Hmm.
Man, she goes to a company during lunch and takes over the place.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. So when you do dance, what kind of dance? Is it Ethiopian dance, Cameroonian dance, South African dance, Amapiano, Afro beats? Tell us about the flavors of music that you are currently sharing as part of the MCC productions.
Oh, as diverse as it gets. We have artists who are folklore artists, so you know
Mhm,
for sure that it's gonna be more traditional
mhm,
when they perform.
mhm,
And it all depends on how much time we have. If we have full 2 hours, then you get a very diverse group. It starts with those who are doing Afro soul or
mhm,
just like slow folk music, and
mhm,
midway it starts picking up
mhm,
all the way to the end.
mhm,
And we have a very diverse group. Musicians from Ivory Coast, from the Democratic Republic of Congo, from
mhm,
from Cameroon, from Senegal.
mhm.
And what I love about our group is everybody comes in to help out. So
Awesome.
if you're being highlighted on that day
Mhm,
as the main musician, and which we have several, if it's
mhm,
like a 2 hour, 3 hour experience, um, you if you're being highlighted, then that's good, right? But
mhm,
when another person is being highlighted, you come in. If you are the drummer, you drum for
mhm,
that person. So we support each other
mhm,
as we go. Sometimes I come in and I'm doing backup the whole time. Like I
mhm.
perform.
I
And
see.
that is the one special thing that I want to have, because it's
Yes.
really hard for artists when they come here to facilitate their performances. Um,
Mhm,
you need so much. You need to pay the drummer, you need to pay the bass guitar, you need to pay
mhm,
pay the acoustic guitarist,
mhm.
the electric guitarist, the keyboardist. A lot of artists don't have that kind of money to put up front.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so we now work as that community of
Okay.
musicians for music.
It's a collective,
It's a
right?
collective.
Yeah.
Yes, we go at it as a collective. Whoever is being highlighted, we support. So
And share and let that one be the one that
let
takes
the
the
person
spotlight. Yeah.
shine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let them
let them
shine.
shine the
That is
best. Let it
good.
not be
That's
that oh, they couldn't afford
yeah.
a drummer, and so it was no. It
Wow.
has to be
Wow.
perfect. It has
That's
to be.
amazing.
So it normally is like people at the end of everybody is up dancing all the
Yeah.
time, because we
Well,
take
after having good food, what I mean, you have good food, got
you have
music,
to dance.
you sure have
You
to dance it out.
you
Dance it
have
out.
to.
So you
You
don't have
have
to
to.
go to the gym the next day or something. Wow. This
This
is so
reminds me,
interesting.
we normally say, tell people like sometimes if you had to go to the gym, just you can skip your gym, because
Cancel your gym membership.
this will be your
Join the
gym
motherland.
time for the day, because it's crazy when we start hitting the makosa beats and we start taking it into the
Yeah.
Ivorian music. It is. It is upbeat and it is
Unstoppable.
pumping. We end
Wow.
with the Congolese music. Forget it. By then, everybody is up.
They lost their minds.
Yes.
So let me give you a new tagline. Ladies and gentlemen, cancel your gym membership. Join the Motherland Cultural Connections gym and experience an
Yeah.
experience that transports you to thousands of miles away
Oh
and
yeah.
back at
Yes.
the price of maybe just taking the bus or
Yeah.
taking the train to to Detroit also.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, that is interesting. Now, how do corporations respond to this? Are the
Oh,
corporates embracing this, or is it mostly non-profit organizations that are embracing your connections and cultural competency programs?
we have a mixture of non-profits and for-profits. Um,
Mm.
the unique thing about us is we're not just your regular entertainment. It is
Oh
we call it
yes, yes,
edutainment. It's
yes.
education and
Thank you.
entertainment.
Edutainment,
Yes,
edutainment. I love
that's
that.
that's what I call it. And
Okay.
it's another take on DEI. A lot of the times there's like
Mm,
we're seeing a
that's a
lot of
that's a
pushback.
fine way to do DEI
Yeah, there's we're seeing a lot more of pushback towards
on
DEI
DEI. I
programs,
see. I
but
see.
because we don't come from that
Yeah.
angle, that
Not
platform.
judge, not judging, doing who we
Yes,
are. Yeah.
we are more about immersion. You still
Yeah.
learn, you will learn, and you
Yeah.
will still identify. We will identify all. We're not cutting corners or anything,
Yeah.
but you will have fun in the
Yeah.
process. So a lot of
Wow.
the times, we don't have a hard time selling um
Mm,
to corporate to our B2B
yeah.
customers because they
Yes.
see, and a lot
Yes.
of the times it's they have their entertainment team building budgets, and then they
Mhm.
have DEI budgets separate.
Mm.
With us, you get the combination.
So, but you typically do you pitch to those that are doing DI or you pitch to those that are doing team building?
We pitch to DEI first, but
Okay.
those who come to us, they probably have had us for DEI, and
Mhm.
then they because of that entertainment, we get charged to
Mm.
do more.
Yes.
Or they're like, we just want entertainment, and then
Mhm.
like, oh, this is way more than just entertainment. Like, we would
Yeah.
love to have you add
Yeah.
you because at DEI program, we make sure that we work hand in hand with the organization to say,
Mhm.
where are you on this journey? What are you focused
Mhm.
on?
Mhm.
And then we would implement that within our program. So everything
Wow.
is curated to meet the
Mhm.
needs of our customers.
No kidding. Wow. This is far deeper than I could see on the surface. It is a lot more involved. And I think that is what makes it so beautiful because it's unique.
Mm.
You either win them through their mouths
Yeah,
or you win them through their heads
yeah.
or their hearts. So
Mhm.
you have a full 360 solution.
Yeah.
Now let me start to wrap things up here. You obviously have turned a problem into a solution, and you are using it to help not just yourself but many other creative people.
Yeah.
What are three or maybe two or one business lesson or two business lessons that you can share with those that are creative minded
Mhm.
and they're doubting, can I pull it off? Can I do this in America?
I'll say the first thing would be, when you're unsure, do your research. It is very important to do your research. Not
Okay.
only when you are unsure, whether you're going to start that business or not, you need to make sure that you have done your basic business research. Where it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be located, who your
Mm-hmm.
customers are going to be, what
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be selling to them,
Mm-hmm.
and that thing has to actually solve a problem. It
Mm-hmm.
has to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
um when I say try to do your research, is that for business people, you get worried all the time, and it's like, is this gonna work, is this not gonna work? The
Mm-hmm.
way it works for me is I do my research and I make sure
Okay.
that I check
Yeah.
do my checklist
Yeah.
and go through it.
I
That way,
see.
if it fails, there's
You
no way
know
I'm
that
gonna be
you
mad
know
at
that you did your
myself.
homework. Yeah, you did your
I
homework.
did
Yeah.
my homework. That's the
That's
the best kind of mindset
wow.
that you can have, because
Wow.
if it failed, it failed for some other reason. but then that also helps you exclude some of
Mhm.
the reasons,
Mhm.
or some of the reasons that didn't count.
Yes, yes.
It just helps you know your landscape a little better.
Okay, so
Um,
number one is research. What's
yes.
number two?
Number two is you have to network. You have to advocate for
Oh,
yourself.
network.
Don't only think, oh, I have to sell to this person and sell. Go to your local chamber,
Yeah,
go to your local officials,
yeah.
talk to them about the issues that are
Within the
they,
community, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Talk about your barriers. And
Mm,
it doesn't matter whether you're a citizen or not, as long
mm,
as you have a business, you
yeah.
can you I would encourage you to go see your local politicians and talk to them about the things that you want changed.
Wow, wow.
Find people within your community, collaborate as much as possible.
Collaborations, okay.
Yes.
Hmm. Wow, this is quite a lot for our viewers to take in. If someone is looking to find you, ma'am, where should they go? MCC
Yes.
is definitely going places. How can they find MCC so that they can connect with motherland culture, motherland connections, motherland gastronomic flavors? Where can they find you?
They can find us on our websites. If you're thinking food, you want to go
Yes,
straight to the food, you go to Motherland Cooking Experience with an X. So instead of EX, we have an X. Motherland Cooking
cooking experience with an
Experience.com.
X. Okay,
Yes.
wow.
And if you want to go straight to our cultural competency classes or workshops, or the music, you go
Mhm,
to motherlandculturalconnections.com.
mhm. Wow. So now you have it. You can't say that I don't have no access to Myra. You can't say I don't have no access to MCC. You got their website. And when we will publish this, we'll make sure that we have the links attached so that people can reach you. And you had mentioned that you founded another company back home a while back. Is that still in operation? You want to mention that?
It is still in operation, but mostly here. We have dialed back ever since the conflict started.
Yeah.
Um, with that,
What's the name?
Berryven Consulting.
Barry Van,
Yes.
Beri.
Berryven
Okay,
Consulting.
consulting.
Yes.
And what does it do, man?
We support businesses, small businesses, mom and pop shops,
Mhm.
to get their basic business skills together,
Okay.
teaching them how to get their profits for the day, reinvesting, making sure that they have their documents, their papers
Mhm. Mhm.
ordered so that they can get a valuation. And for
Okay.
those that are slightly bigger and are looking for investment out here,
Mhm.
we help
Mhm.
them through that process and then connect them
Wow.
with investors.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, I have some. It's not a trick question. It's
Mhm.
just some little tricky questions. Like, this is where people get into trouble. I'm not trying to get you into trouble. Uh, if you, what will make you jump? A man piano or Afrobeat?
Aww. Oh.
A very musically minded person like you, I know that
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty much it.
I th- I th- it has to be a both because they are unique in their own way. It has to be a
Okay,
both. They
okay.
are they are different. Afrobeat is that chilly kind of
Uh,
vibe, and then Amapiano is just like, oh,
yeah.
it has to be both. It has to be.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You dodged the bullet on that one. And see if I get you the next one. Is there a book on cultural awareness, cultural competency, cultural savvy that you can recommend for one, Africans who
Mhm.
are working in diaspora, or Americans or native people from Western world who
Mhm.
are looking to understand more about African culture? Is there a book or a document you've published or something that comes to your mind quickly? If not, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking we on our website we do have a white paper about
Okay.
uh,
Mhm.
interactive cultural competency, because that is
Mhm.
a trademarked
Mhm.
process that we have developed.
Okay.
Um, it's cultural competency, but it's immersive and it's interactive, and it's all of the things that we do: the food, the music, people
Awesome.
coming in, being hands-on versus
Yes.
just reading it as an abstract.
Mm,
You
that
see,
is. That
Instead of
is so cool.
reading like a
Yeah.
book, do.
Yes. Do
So
it.
you
Do
find
it.
out, yeah, you find out,
Just like Nike says, just do it. Don't
just
read
do
it.
it.
Don't talk about
Just
it. Just
do
do it.
it. Immerse yourself.
Get your
Yes,
hands wet. Okay.
yes.
That is very, very powerful because it leaves a powerful memory trail
Mm-hmm.
when you combine the hands and the head and the heart.
Heart,
That's a
yes.
very, I'm coming from educational field, so that's something that I can speak to. Okay, the last one here, in fact, last but one,
Mm-hmm.
you you walk into a room, there are four chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first chair is sitting or standing within a square.
Mm-hmm.
The second chair is standing within a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
The third chair is standing within a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth chair is standing on top of a squiggly. Which of those chairs would you be more inclined to sit on? Is it the one on the square, the one on the triangle, the one on the circle, or the one on the squiggly? Squiggly means twisted, twisted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Because I'm very curious and adventurous
Yes, yes,
in nature.
yes. You go for which one? Be
I'm,
honest.
I'm probably gonna go examine the squiggly.
Thank you. Thank you. That's why you're a creative person, madam. That's why you're a creative person. This quickly is good for people who are creative, who are
Yes.
inspiration driven.
Mm-hmm.
And this is based on psychogeometrics. And
Mm-hmm.
the circle are for people that are super harmonious. They are like uh, uh, social workers.
Mm.
The square is good for people who are more like CPAs,
Mm.
and the triangle is good for those who are so driven by power, like CEOs, that kind of thing.
Mm.
So I'm glad you answered that. Okay, then this is the last question. You walk into a room, there's Kati Kati and Fufukon. You better choose right this time. There is Achu, all right, with yellow
Oh
soup.
God.
And then there's Nangtar, you know Nangtar, right?
Yes,
Turning
yes,
cocoyams.
yes.
And then there's fufu or the fufu and edo. Better choose right because you may get into trouble with family tonight. So choose the one that you know will be the best one that you
Oh,
will enjoy.
see, the saw is in me is
Yeah,
streaming out right now. I'm
yeah.
sorry if I offend anybody.
Offend
Kati
offend the
kati
in-laws.
all the way. Kati kati all the way.
You're gonna offend the in-laws. Okay, that's what you're saying.
They love it too. They love it too. But
Because everybody loves it.
yeah, for
But you
me,
mean you're gonna turn a blind eye to Nangtari? Okay, okay.
kati
Sorry to
kati all the way.
Sorry to put you in a conundrum. Sorry to put you in a very difficult spot. I am so grateful for this conversation. I have learned so much talking to you. And I want to tell our viewers, story warriors, story weavers, story crafters, wherever you are, go check out Motherland Cultural Connections, based in the great state of Michigan. They're doing great work all around the world. And by the same token, they are reaching you gastronomically, touching your heart, touching your head, touching your mind. And that's what we bring to you this afternoon. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Keep sharing, keep subscribing, and don't stop talking about the good things that come from the motherland. Thank you so much, Myra. I appreciate you so much.